What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla vs. Kong news roundup. Congratulations! Godzilla vs. Kong released in theaters! This video picks up from March 31st, 2021 and runs us through the end of April. This video specifically deals with the post-release of Godzilla vs. Kong. If you want all the merchandise and crossovers and stuff, previous videos, go check them out. Future videos cover the stuff that came next, so check those out as well. Also, do that. Make sure you do that. Did you subscribe? I feel like you should. Good job, Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm glad you released. It was about time. We all were waiting. Actually, I was happy to wait a little longer. But you came out when you came out, and you know what? Thank you, because that was the perfect time for me personally. It made me feel very happy at a time when I did not feel very happy. Speaking of things that make me feel very happy, the MonsterVerse directors united for the premiere of Godzilla vs. Kong. Michael Dougherty shared some photos of that on Instagram, and I don't know, something about seeing these guys together makes my heart real cozy. These guys are like my YouTube dads in a way. I've actually interacted with all of but one of them, and I'm sure you can guess which is the one that I've never met. Although I would also say I barely only sort of met one of them as well, and I would wonder what he thought of me. Anyways, they all got together to celebrate the premiere of Godzilla vs. Kong. That premiere is a historic occasion that I feel like people don't talk about enough. This is something that in my opinion should be in film history textbooks moving forward, and yet I know it won't be because it was Godzilla vs. Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong was officially the movie to open the TCL Chinese theater. There was a massive premiere for it that featured all four MonsterVerse directors together, cutting the ribbon together. It's really cool. This is a historic occasion. This marks the opening of cinemas after the pandemic. Now, of course, other films like Tenet did come out before this point, but none of them were really big blockbuster hits until Godzilla vs. Kong, which was the first pandemic success at the box office. Also, since the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, theaters overall, generally speaking, have not shut back down. There's not been any massive shutdowns for theaters, meaning Godzilla vs. Kong holds the title as the movie to save cinemas. I don't think people will give it the credit it deserves. I've already seen people have kind of forgot this happened, and it's really annoying because this was such a big deal when it happened, and it's so exciting. It's such a huge opportunity, and honestly, huge credit given where credit is due to Adam Wingard for being the director to launch the movie that reopened one of the most historic and iconic theaters of all time. It really frustrates me that people don't really seem to care. I guarantee if it was like, I don't know, Avengers, some Avengers movie, if it was an Avengers level film or Spider-Man No Way Home, that's all you'd hear. Spider-Man No Way Home saved cinemas. Spider-Man No Way Home. Avengers brought cinemas back. It was Avengers that opened up the Chinese theater. But the fact that it was Godzilla vs. Kong, people are like, oh, whatever, Godzilla. That's some B-movie cinema right there. That's we don't even call that cinema. You're cringe. I say, you're cringe. The movie kicked ass. It opened theaters up, and it was really cool. And at that premiere, the MonsterVerse directors all got together and played with toys. This was for some promotional stuff we'll talk about in a minute, but I just think it's really cute, and I love seeing them all together. I've also always thought it was kind of funny how they give them the wrong toys. You've got Gareth Edwards playing with the light-up Mega Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong, and then it looks like Michael Dougherty is playing with, I believe, the Mega Godzilla as well. Adam Wingard, of course, is playing with Kong, the Mega Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong, but I find it weird that they would give Jordan Vogt Roberts an X plus Kong from Kong Skull Island. Like, I understand the theory, right? You want to balance the Godzillas and the Kongs. He was the Kong director. Wingard directed a movie about Kong with Godzilla, basically. Whereas Edwards and Dougherty directed Godzilla films, so I get it. But I just think it's funny to stick him with an X plus because it's just not the same brand. Like, couldn't you have also just given him a Mega Kong? And if you were going to adhere to, let's give them the toys from their movie, why wouldn't Dougherty have, like, I don't know, the Jakks Pacific Big Godzilla, and then Gareth Edwards have, like, a Bandai Godzilla, the one that shoots the atomic breath or something? I think I read way more into that image than anybody else on the entire planet did, and that's very in line with me. So if you want more riveting analysis like that, please make sure you subscribe. I have a feeling you didn't, and I just think you should. Is what I'm saying. There was a MonsterVerse fan premiere at a drive-in, so of course the TCL Chinese Theater premiere, that was, I believe, the first premiere. I believe that was the American premiere for Godzilla vs. Kong. There was a second one that was for fans, because the first premiere, that's typically like a more industry-based premiere. That's where they've got like all the higher-ups, executives, that they brought in people for a charity donation that they were doing. Of course, I think some fans were able to watch the movie at that premiere, but for the most part, that's a more industry-based premiere. Whereas the drive-in premiere, this is the one that the fans got to go to. This was the first fan experience for the film. I actually saw the film at a drive-in, not this drive-in premiere. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to this, but I did go to a drive-in theater for the film, and I would say it's a little bit of a disservice to see it at a drive-in for the first time. Maybe the one that they did here, this fan premiere, it was a little more elaborate with a better sound system, and maybe the picture quality was a little better, but the drive-in I saw it at, it was very dark. You could hardly see during the nighttime or Hollow Earth sequences, and so I feel like an IMAX screen was the best way to do it. I know it was the pandemic. This was, in my opinion, the best and coolest and most unique way to do a premiere for this film. Also, it harkens back to the days of Godzilla's past, when Godzilla was an icon that would play at drive-ins. So I think it's really cool that we got to do something like that in the modern day, and so I think that's also really cool, and the MonsterVerse directors were of course there for that as well, and Legendary did a big event for that. Godzilla vs. Kong became the biggest MonsterVerse film opening in China, and so to celebrate, an official poster was released featuring a crossover between all the MonsterVerse films. It's got Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra from King of the Monsters, featuring a King of the Monsters Godzilla fighting a Kong Skull Island Kong, tying in the Godzilla vs. Kong concepts with those previous designs. So everybody's tied in. Skullcrawler makes an appearance, Muto makes an appearance, so those movies are covered. And then in the background you can see Mechagodzilla's spines on top and Mechagodzilla's eyes on bottom. So this is our only poster for the MonsterVerse featuring all the main players of the MonsterVerse. The only guy not featured on this would be like the male Muto. Unless that is the male Muto, in which case the female Muto is the one that's not featured on this poster. But what I'm saying is this is the only poster we have for the MonsterVerse, the only officially licensed artwork we have for the MonsterVerse featuring all of the characters together. Pretty freaking cool, I think. In the wake of Godzilla vs. Kong coming out, a lot of people noticed that a lot of stuff didn't make the final cut of the film. They filmed a lot of footage that we never saw, and we knew that some things were going to happen that wound up not happening in the film. Also, some people, in their opinions, think the movie is very chopped up. I disagree. I think it plays exactly how it should. But this all led to a lot of people asking, is this a shortened cut? Is there a director's cut on the way? Adam Wingard came out and officially smothered this and said there is no Wingard cut. The movie you watched in theaters is the Wingard cut. Yeah, there's no Wingard cut. This is how he wanted the movie to be. A lot of people like to complain and be like, oh, it's just too fast paced. Oh, it's always going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It never slows down. That was exactly the idea. It was supposed to be a finale to the MonsterVerse films that came before. Those are the slow parts leading into this film. And whether you like that or not, I at least respect the idea. And for me, it worked perfectly. A whole bunch of different releases for Godzilla vs. Kong have happened since it came out. I'm surprised at how quickly these were announced, but as early as April 2021, we saw releases for a 4-film set, so these were announced. They didn't release back then, but they have released since, so you can buy them yourself. A 4-film set featuring all 4 MonsterVerse movies. I think the ordering is very strange. Why would they put it in reverse order? I don't know. There's 2 alternate covers for it. The 4-film cover I think is better than the alternate cover. There's a Godzilla vs. Kong UK steelbook that is probably the most incredible thing I've seen in my entire life, but unfortunately, when I ordered it, it never showed up. I think this steelbook is awesome. I love the poster of Godzilla and Kong fighting, looking up at them from below them. Such a cool image. I love the color clashes. It just looks so cool. The back of the image showing Godzilla and Kong roaring at each other just like in the movie is awesome. Opening it up to see the aircraft carrier battle is so awesome. Why did this not ship to me? I guess because it's a UK exclusive. Maybe it didn't actually ever release, but this is the coolest 4K for any MonsterVerse film I've seen. There was an actual 4K release that did happen. I have it myself. There was also reveals for Blu-rays and DVDs. I actually have all 3 of these. Why do I have it in 3 different formats? I don't know. I do though. After Godzilla vs. Kong came out, Legendary took their time to announce another MonsterVerse project, leading to a lot of fans starting the hashtag ContinueTheMonsterVerse. I was on hiatus at this point, but even I returned from hiatus to tweet out hashtag ContinueTheMonsterVerse. We got it trending. It was up near the top of trending, and it was so popular that even Legendary saw it and responded to it. In response to this, they released some things: You Are the MonsterVerse and One MonsterVerse, celebrating the 4 films that have come before. You Are the MonsterVerse. Hey, That's me. This is a really sweet, wholesome little video Legendary made showing all of the fan celebrations for the MonsterVerse starting in 2014. It just makes me realize they have so much incredible footage in their archives. I wish they would release a lot of this extended stuff of all these premieres, of all of this stuff, and it really made me nostalgic watching. I forgot about the baseball kid. I forgot about, do you guys remember that time that a giant Kong animatronic set on fire? I believe it was in like China or something during the premiere of Kong Skull Island. It just gave me a lot of nostalgia for like, I remember a lot of this stuff. I remember the drumming ceremony at the King of the Monsters premiere. I remember all of this stuff, and it's just really cool to see. So I loved that they put this out. And then the one MonsterVerse promo, that one actually almost made me tear up. I thought it was very wholesome, showing all of the directors get together, talk about their experiences on these films. I wish those full interviews would be released with all the directors. It's super wholesome. I love seeing the four of them together. It makes me really happy hearing Gareth Edwards say nice things about these films. I really truly hope he really means it, because I have always felt that the MonsterVerse kind of cheated him out of his promise. He was originally supposed to direct the Godzilla trilogy, and I've always felt bad for him that he didn't get to. And seeing these four together, it's something really heartwarming about it for me, because I feel like I've grown up with the MonsterVerse, and it's all because of these four guys. These four guys have given us the movies that have guided the journey of my life pretty much primarily for nearly 10 years now. So it's really profound seeing them together. Hey guys, D-Man 1954 here. I'm cutting you off. You're done. This is it. You're done. That's it. That's the video. The video's over. Yeah, I didn't film an outro for this one because I guess I did. I did film an outro for it because there's a whole back half to this video that I honestly decided, not only is it just an entire other videos worth of content, and I was like, do I really want to post a 25-minute video, or do I just want to cut it in two? I'll just cut it in two. But also because it was like, these two videos are like completely unrelated topics, to be honest with you. This one's all about the release of Godzilla vs. Kong. The next one is still sort of about that, but it's mostly about interviews from Adam Wingard, breaking down his interviews and the things he had to say after the release of the movie. So honestly, I was just like, that's a better video on its own. This is a better video on its own. I'm just gonna cut it right in half here. Also because of more content, and that's all I care about. So yeah, that's what we're working with. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are absolutely the best. Honestly, that's what's keeping the channel running. I know I say that every video, but I truly do mean that. You guys are the best. I really do appreciate it. So big thank you to all of them. And like I said, that'll do it for this one, guys. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. Now you know what the next one's gonna be. D-Man out.